Alright, it's Thursday, about 8:30, so I'm going to upload this new episode here in a few after I get done reading it. Basically, episode 2, Bloodlines and Trust. We saw that Raiden was trying to control his powers a little bit, and when he came home, his mom tried to find out whether or not he had powers, and so she tested it. He basically had him. So they started talking, and Raiden got upset and went upstairs to his bedroom, pretty ticked off. And that's where we left off to go into episode 3, which is the Destined Path. Alright? So Raiden walked up the stairs and opened his door, and there in front of him, sitting on his bed, was his dad, Charles. "Dad, what are you doing here?" he exclaimed. "You and your mother are in danger, and I'm here to protect you," answered his father. "And I need to explain everything to you." Raiden was upset, pissed at the fact that his father had nothing to do with him for almost 3 years, and now he shows up and expects the relationship to be okay? "I can take care of myself. I don't need your help," boasted Raiden. "Yes, you do need my help, more than you think," answered his father. Raiden asked, "Why now, Dad? Why come after all this time and want to help now? Why not take your wife and your son with you when you left?" "Because I thought they would only come after me. If they did not know about you and your mother, then you both would be safe," he explained. "But somehow the hunters found out." "Who are the hunters, and what is going on? Please tell me everything," said Raiden. "All right, sit down, Raiden. We need to talk, and we need to hurry, because the hunters are getting close to figuring it all out." It started in the late 1600s in a small village called Ipswich. We had ancestors, kin that settled there, and they were part of the accused in the Salem witch trials. He further explained our ancestors had powers that other normal people did not have, and there were a lot of executions of innocent people that did not have powers and were not even witches. Our family, though, did have the powers, and we were true witches and warlocks, and still are, said Raiden's father. During the time of the trials in Salem, the accusers formed a witch hunting party called the Hunters, and they targeted a lot of families, and ours was one of them. However, our family, the Millers, we were lucky because our ancestors caught wind of this group and the list of the families, so they fled Ipswich and headed farther south, explained his father. Our family settled in this area, and we were able to stay undetected from the hunters for over 300 years. Mainly because the hunters never stayed a strong group. Initially, they would grow in numbers, but then the group dwindled down because of deaths and other variables, and they have grown weaker than they have ever been for the last 20 years, or so, his father explained. They are still hunting witches and warlocks. That is why I had to leave. They were on my trail. And they did not know about my wife or son. They were just looking for me. He continued to explain, but I'm afraid that they have learned of you, my son. You, and so I have to come back to protect my family and flee if we still can. Flee, Dad? That just doesn't sound like a Miller, Raiden said proudly. You do not understand, Raiden. Those hunters will kill me, you, and your mother. They are ruthless and have killing in their blood, said Raiden's father emphatically. Well, I have never backed down from a physical fight, and if they come after me, they will have a fight on their hands, boasted Raiden. Stop being macho. Be realistic here. If we stay and fight, we may die, Raiden's father said with concern in his voice. Raiden replied, yeah, but we may be able to free ourselves from this hunting group. Okay, fine, but for now, we need to take care of some business. As a warlock, you will have 2 powers automatically instilled in you. explained Charles. That is easy, Dad. I can move things with my mind, and I can read minds and other people's thoughts, Raiden said, braggingly. Good powers to have. All right, now that you have turned 18, those powers have become known to you. The other part of turning 18 and being a warlock is that I, as your father, am able to help you choose the other two specialty powers you will have in your disposal, explained Charles. That is the other reason I came back. I have a piece of a magical stone passed down to me that maps out the choices you will have for your other two powers. Charles continued to say, all members of our family have a big piece of this magic stone, but the problem is we are the last of the family to survive the hunters, and I believe the last of our kind, period. The story of their family history continued as Charles went on to say the hunters have destroyed the other pieces of the magic stone, and we have the last piece. So if they get this last piece and destroy it, then it will be the last of our kind as we know it. Do we have to go anywhere to perform this special ritual? Asked Raiden. No, we can do it right here, and then the stone will be in your possession for the next generations. Am I going to get a wand or anything like that? Raiden said jokingly. No, you have been watching too many movies, said Charles, who was not in the mood for the jokes. The ritual of choosing his powers would begin when Raiden would sit on the bed facing his father. Raiden was scared and nervous, but the mindset of no expectations was thrown out the window, and he made up his mind that there would be no more letdowns or disappointments. He walked towards his father and sat on the bed facing him. His father pulled out of a smooth black stone the size of a golf ball and laid it on the bed. His father grabbed Raiden's hands and chanted the words, Secret Stone of Ipswich, I have before you my son Raiden, who is now ready to make the choices to complete his cycle of becoming a full warlock. And before Raiden's very own eyes, the room became dark, the walls were gone, and the stone now began to glow and raise off the bed. His room became a cave, and on the cave walls were the words written and glowing from the light of the stone. They were the choices he had for the powers to complete his ritual of becoming a full-blooded warlock. Raiden could pick two of these special powers that he could possess. All he had to do was finally decide what powers he wanted, say those powers out loud, and they would be given to him. There were so many powers to choose from that they were too enticing to have such just picking two. So, this thing, invisibility, spells, magic, thousands of others to choose from. Raiden saw super strength, and that was a no-brainer. However, he asked, what's super strength? And his father told him that if that is his choice, he would have 10 times the strength of a male human. Well, say no more than that. That was Raiden's first choice, and so the words super strength were spoken to the stone by Raiden. Raiden then saw shapeshifter, so he asked his father, what's a shapeshifter? What do they do? What's their power? It means you would be able to shift your body into any shape, human, animal, form, or even objects, all right? But know that with the super strength and the shapeshifter, whatever you become, the strength of that figure would be increased by tenfold. Meaning if you became a lion, once you transformed into that lion, you would be as strong as 10 lions. However, the strength issue will not come into effect if you shapeshift into an object, which you would be able to do as well. For example, you would be able to shapeshift into a tree, a table, a rock, or any object. After hearing that, no more words were needed to be said. Raiden chose to be a shapeshifter. His dad was pleased. Those are two great powers, and they complement each other very well. The room slowly went back to normal, and the glow of the stone was gone. His father gave the stone to Raiden for safekeeping of hopefully another generation of warlock. Raiden, like his father, decided he would keep the stone close to him, always so that he would remain safe. There are a few other things that you need to know. Nothing can happen to this stone because it is the stone. If the stone is destroyed, it will interrupt the cycle for any new warlocks in our family bloodline. And if they are unable to choose their other two powers, then they will lose the two that were instilled in them and become mortal, said Raiden's father. He continued to say, if that happens, there will be no more warlocks than our millers. Our warlock ancestry will die, and if we would become mortal, we would die instantly, Charles continued to explain by saying, yes, as a gift of power, we will age until the age of 32, and then we will stop aging. That means we are immortal except for this stone that is able to be taking our powers away from us so that it would make us mortal, and the people would have ability to be able to kill us. The hunters could kill us. So, if you are extremely old like me, though, even though I appear 32 years old, I am over 100 years old in mortal years. If the stone is destroyed, I would turn to dust. So yes, you have 5 actual powers. Immortality, the 2 instilled in you on your 18th birthday, and the 2 that you have chosen. But none of that matters if the hunters get to you and are able to destroy the stone and kill you, Charles finished explaining. So if we are immortal, then why or where are all the other ancestors that were warlocks and witches? Asked Raiden. Good question, son. We all moved to this area, but time passed on, and everyone moved away except for me, said Charles. The last I heard, I was the last of our family line left, and that the others were hunted down and killed. That is when they traced our bloodline to me and started tracking me. So I left in order to protect you and your mother, Charles said emphatically. They were killed because their family piece of magic stone was destroyed, and they became mortal and were able to be killed by the hunters. It is also important to know, if only a portion of the stone is destroyed and some of the stone is left, then one or more of the witches of that family would survive and the others would die. So the whole stone will have to be destroyed for the entire family to die. We are the last of the left of all the witches, as far as I know, Charles said begrudgingly. He went on to say, I told you that the hunters have grown weaker in the past 20 years. They also know we have too, and they are ready to end this 100-year fight. Raiden, still trying to get the whole picture, asked, so you're saying that if the hunters track us down and destroy our entire piece of the magic stone, it would cause us to lose our powers and the hunters would be able to kill us? Well, I would disintegrate due to my age, but yes, you are right, and that is why I came back to help protect you and your mother, said Charles. Raiden, confused, wanted to know, why would they kill her if she is not a witch? Because they are ruthless and they do not care. They will kill her for loving a warlock and giving birth to one, Charles said. Well, I will not let anything happen to my mother. And will kill anyone that tries, Raiden said with a firm voice. We need to leave here, and you need some rest, Raiden. We have a lot to plan and discuss tomorrow, and I need you to be focused, Charles demanded. You expect me to keep to sleep after what was happened to me? At least before I go to sleep, Raiden asked. What are your powers, Dad? Like you, I can read thoughts, move objects with my mind. Of course, we all are immortal. The past powers and the 2 powers that I have chosen are invisibility and the ability to generate energy from my body. What does that mean? Asked Raiden. You will see. One day there will be a time and a place for it, said Charles. All right, so that's where we're leaving off. Basically, when he walked into his room, saw his dad, and very upset at his dad for leaving him and not explaining it, trusting in Raiden to do the right things. But he was young, so the parents decided not to tell him. And that kind of what upsets him right now. But his dad kind of gets him back into focus and excited when he talks about the 2 more powers he can choose. And super strength, yeah, and shapeshifter. I mean, everybody when we're young, we're always thinking about, hey, if I had superpowers, what superpowers would I have? I mean, it's cool to think that. All right, but he's pretty excited about those, and he wants to help now. He knows his purpose is to protect the family and to protect from the warlocks being extinct. So, in the next episode, it's going to get a little more unfolding on what needs to be done, a clearer purpose. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this episode 3. All right, and it was called The Destined Path. And I am pretty pumped up about doing this. I hope you enjoy listening to the story as much as I bring to you. And we'll see you next week, next Thursday. Bye.